First impression, the brand, the strong brand name of your appraisal company, it's really crucial for a couple of different reasons.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Today's episode is sponsored by a great company called Spark. Spark, of course, is helping appraisers to do more with less money. It's very easy and very cost effective. Check them out by going to spark4appraisers.com. Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm in an interesting process right now. I guess you would call it a process. It's a little bit there's a lot more to it than it seems. And that is, I am choosing a name for my appraisal company. I know that sounds silly because I've been in business almost 30 years, and I've gone by many names over the years. I started out years and years ago as Harris Appraisals. Was my dad's name. That's the name of his appraisal company, and I took that name on, even though we were technically separate companies because I was in one state, he was in another. I was the owner of the company name in that particular state. He, of course, owned the company name in his state, and it got a little confusing very quickly. Because we were separate companies, and I made a switch and put a lot of thought into this, an amazing amount of thought into this, and came up, drum roll please, with Dustin Harris Appraisals, Inc. Back then, LLCs were not too popular, not too well known, and not like they are today anyway. And went with that for a while, and then decided that I didn't want my company based on my name, and that's one of the principles that I want to teach in a brief minisode today. Is folks pick a name that can be transferred, sold, that is not hanging solely on the appraiser themselves. So many appraisers do what I did and just don't think through this and think, John Doe Appraisals, of course, that's who I am, that's my company, that's what I do. And we don't think down the road. And some of you might say, well, Dustin, I'm never going to sell my appraisal office. Okay, and first of all, give yourself opportunity to maybe be wrong and maybe change your mind. And number two, it may not always just be you. There might be some others that you might want to include in that. And years and years ago, I went to Appraisal Precision. I added and consulting group in that as well, because I really wanted to focus on teaching, education, and helping my clients not just get appraisals, but also get educated about the market. And that served me well for many years, and grew that to consistently doing over $1 million per year. And ended up selling, as you all know, to a big company out there called True Footage. At that point, Appraisal Precision belonged to them, and we were happy to do that. And now we're back on our own. Going back to Appraisal Precision is just not for lack of any other reason. It gets confusing because of where we were, where we are now. And by the way, let me just sidebar here for just a moment, because I've had a lot of people ask, well, Dustin, what are you doing with your business? What are you growing with your business? And the honest truth is, folks, I'm in a different part of my life. In fact, I just got done with a coaching client just literally 10 minutes ago. And this individual is in the beginning stages and reminds me a lot of where I was at 25 years of age, and wants to grow into $1 million company. And one of the things I said to him is I said, first of all, I've done this, so I'm confident that this is doable, is replicatable. Plus, I've got a ton of clients that I've helped do the same thing. I mean, that's what I do as the appraiser coach. I help individuals to meet whatever goals you have, and they can be wide ranging. But most people are wanting to make more money and work less. It's very few appraisers that don't want to grow their appraisal business into an enterprise, if you will. This was my client this morning's goal as well, to become $1 million plus company. And we talked through what that looks like and what the vision is and what the roadmap is to get him there. but it's just not where I'm at right now. And in fact, when I left True Footage, I was already working 3 other jobs and wanted to do appraisals for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I love it. I've been doing it forever. I just don't see myself not doing appraisals. And so I wanted to keep my toe in the water there, but also I think it's important as an appraiser, coach, as a mentor, to be an appraiser as well. There is something to be said about being in the trenches, if you will, and I enjoy it, and I think I think it makes me a better coach. So, but as far as going back to the multiple appraisals a day, running around like crazy, putting on thousands of miles on my car every month, and back to where I was before. Eh, I mean, I'm just not there. So when people ask me where I'm at right now, well, my answer is I'm working 4 part-time jobs. Okay. And one of them being appraisal. I started out doing just VA, just Veterans Administration appraisals. I love them. They've been my favorite client for many, many years. Sorry, other clients, I don't mean to offend you, but VA is awesome. The Tidewater Initiative, the way they work, the fact that they don't get sucked into some of this other stuff that is challenging appraisers right now. I love working for the VA. The fees are good. Turn times are great. The AAPP program is wonderful, though I don't really use it right now because I don't have another appraiser in my office to do that. But I just love working for the VA. Now, that being said, very quickly, a few other clients kind of slipped under the door crack, if you will. And I've been doing a few here and a few there for other clients as well. But the majority of my work, I'd say 80% of it is with a VA right now. And so that's where I'm at. Okay. So I say that because we're talking today about names, right? And specifically about what a name means. Because right now I'm in the process of choosing a name. When I left True Footage, I just started doing appraisals. And people say, well, send me your W-9. I'm like, well, shoot, I don't even have a business name anymore. I just was using Dustin Harris, sole proprietor, social security number. That's what I was sending out. Well, it's becoming quickly evident that I need to step it up a little bit. Okay. I don't need to grow the enterprise that I had before, but I at least need a business name with an EIN number, a bank account. That might be a good thing too. I want to pause here, by the way, and remind you of another good thing in my life and in your life, it should be, right? And that is Spark. Spark is technology at work for appraisers to be more efficient. We're talking today about growing your empire, folks. One of the ways I help my clients do that is not just about growing the people, it's about growing technology, and technology that makes you more efficient, that allows you to do more, and it's not a cost. When you're talking, folks, saving money and saving time, the cost, if you will, of Spark is minimal compared to the time it gives you back that you can now spend creating value in other ways. Check them out by going to their website, spark4appraisers.com. Spark4, that's F-O-R, the word, not the number, spark4appraisers.com. All right. Welcome back to the program. Dustin Harris hanging out. I'm in the process right now of utilizing ChatGPT and instant domain, I think Finder it's called .com, something like that, to basically come up with the name of my company. It's an interesting process, folks, because coming up with the name of your company, I've already mentioned one thing. First of all, don't base the name of your company on you, right? You do that and you're kind of stuck in many ways, okay? Not that you can't sell your company, but there is something to be said about your reputation, but there's also something to be said about the flexibility of being able to be more inclusive than just your name, your reputation, right? But as I'm looking into names, right, this verbiage brand, right? The word brand keeps coming to my mind. Now, there's some gurus out there that talk about brands and branding yourself and the logo, the colors, I don't want to get into that too much today, but there are a few things that I'm considering and that you should consider as well. Okay. Again, first impression, the strong brand name of your appraisal company it's really crucial for a couple of different reasons. First of all, first impression. What do people think when they hear? Right. This is probably the number one thing that I'm considering thinking about right now as I'm coming up with these ideas for brand. Right. What does it sound like? What does it convey? There's some interesting things out there about brand and first impressions. Okay. But one of the things that's funny is the first impression that I want, most of those brands are already taken, obviously. Okay. So I've got to look for things that are going to be, helpful as far as domain availability. That's why I've got the URL search bar up. Is it available? Right. Is whatever I choose available as a .com? By the way, I'm a big proponent of the .com thing. I know there's 1,000 other dots that you can put out there. I just don't think people remember, really, when you're talking companies, anything but the .com side. Okay. Search engine optimization, SEO, another big consideration that I've been looking at as well. Of course, you got to look at legal protection, and marketing. How are you going to market this thing? What does that look like? If you're in a big metro area, which I'm not, you're looking more at the competitive edge of things as well, folks. But if you find yourself in this process of setting up your appraisal business, or maybe it's a second appraisal business. By the way, one of the interesting things that I did was I went to the Secretary of State website and looked myself up just to see, is there an old appraisal company that I might be able to resurrect? There's not, by the way, but there were four names that I've used in the past that are all inactive at this point, that are up there. So kind of interesting. But folks, as you go through this process, and we all do it, whether it be now or down the line, maybe you're looking at doing business as a DBA. Remember that there's a lot to consider when it comes to your brand name, your company name. No, I have not chosen a company name yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there, and we'll have it very soon. Will I share it with you? Probably. I haven't decided for sure how much of that I'm going to share, but anyway, I did want to let you know, folks, coming up very, very soon, it'll probably happen in October, is going to be our 1,000th episode of the Appraiser Coach podcast. Yes, 1,000 episodes, folks. I could not be more happy. I've got a really, really, really fun thing coming up for the 1,000th episode. Watch for that. Thank you for joining me, folks. As always, appreciate you being here, and go create some value.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.